Welcome back to Sports Day. Jared Healy, Lee Matthews, Sam McClure with you up until 7 o'clock. And as we went to the break, we said that we were about to be joined by one of the informed coaches of the competition. His name is Ben Rutten. He's coaching the Bombers. We wouldn't have said that 6 weeks ago, but that is exactly what they are. They've hit a rich vein of form. Ben, welcome. Congratulations on that form. And can I start by asking, when did it turn for you?
Yeah, g'day Sam and Jared and Lee. It's good to be on the show. I think it's one of those things for us. I mean, we've been working pretty hard at our game throughout the course of the whole season, and sometimes it doesn't always translate into the results that we'd like, and there's certainly a bit of frustration about our ability to execute what we wanted to do. But certainly I think since the bye, I think we've been able to build some momentum, and certainly the last sort of 5 or 6 weeks, it's been nice to get some reward on the scoreboard, and for our group, I think it's been great for our belief and a bit of confidence.
Sometimes, Ben, do we just underrate like the personnel that's out there each week? The same jumpers out there each week, we know, but it seems like when you got Draper, Wright, Stringer and Langford, that gives you a bit of size and bulk around. A lot of your midfielders are not tall men. You seem so much stronger with that quartet in the team at the same time.
Yeah, look, I think it's a good pickup, Lee. I mean, we're, our forward line looking a little bit, or a fair bit different to what it was earlier in the season, and that's with Stringer and Langford, Jones, and also Will Snelling up there as well. And certainly, we've made the decision a fair bit throughout the season to play 2 rucks as well, and that gives us a bit more of a physical presence and a bit more bulk that you're talking about around the ball. So I certainly think that's helped Peter Wright's game throughout the course of the season, just having a few more bigger bodies, and sometimes there's a resting ruck up there as well. So we've got some other aerial presence up there which can lighten the load on Pete a little bit. And, he's competed really well for us all year, but I think it's been beneficial for him certainly.
Well, it's released to Sam Draper, who I kind of think he's 21 in his 3rd season. I mean, that goal he kicked, maybe Nick Nat, maybe Luke Jackson could run with the ball, but the guy Don Scott, way before our time, I played with him in the 70s, early 80s, and he was the athletic ruckman. He gets inducted into the Hawthorn Hall of Fame Friday night, coincidentally. But Sam Draper, I watched the game you played against the Lions, and it seemed like whenever he was on the field, you had the maximum energy as a team, but he seemed to only be able to ruck for half the game. Is that one of the issues with him, the size, his age, his size, his maturity, that you can't get big minutes out of him?
Yeah, look, it's a really good pickup. I mean, as I said, he's such a energetic, spiritual kind of guy for our group, and he really does, generate some momentum for us. And probably early on in the season, we were kind of, expecting him to ruck sort of 80% of the game. And as you said, he's in his 3rd season. He's probably just ticked over 35 games or something like that. So it's a really big ask to ask a young ruckman to be able to shoulder the ruck loads, on their own. So that's been certainly a fair bit of the decision making we've had around playing, Andrew Phillips, who's a 30-year-old ruckman for us, and pretty seasoned competitor, and Nick Bryan as well has also been able to get some game time into him. But we're certainly finding that Sammy Draper, his presence and his energy around the ball is certainly more beneficial. And playing about 60-65% ruck time is, seems to be a nice little sweet spot for him at the moment. And we think he'll, as the years go on, he'll be able to build that resilience into his body and be able to play more ruck and more game time himself. But I think that's about right for him at the moment, and we're seeing seeing some reward with his performance as a result.
Ben, everybody as a coach, I'm sure, wants to have 2 or 3 gears that they can go to, and I'm sure you practice it. But fact or fiction that you decided a few weeks ago after consulting the players to basically simplify it and just go fast, and it's whatever the decision, whether that is fact or fiction, the result has been exciting.
Yeah, it's probably a bit of fiction there, but there's a bit of fact in there as well. We certainly look to just simplify a couple of areas of our game, and really we it was more based around our contest work, that we wanted to really consolidate there and get some more consistency around the ball and some of our pressure and tackle stuff, and we wanted to really come back to that as a starting point, and we certainly know we've got some real strengths across half back and through the midfield. Redmond and Hind and McGrath back into the team as well, and we've seen Massimo D'Ambrosio over the past month or so give us some real punch and a bit of bite off our half back line, but also just through the midfield as well. I think it's probably Langford and Martin and Sam Durham. Dyson Heppel's a good runner as well. So I think we've got a nice balance and a nice mix at the moment between guys who are on the inside. Ben Hobbs and Caldwell and Shiel are doing a mountain of work on the inside, but we've got a nice balance with some runners on the outside at the moment as well, which we're really liking. And that probably enables you to be able to move the ball a bit faster and be able to use the whole ground in attack especially.
It must have been a pretty tough experience as a coach. Dropping top-line players would never be easy, and after a bad loss to the Swans, Dylan Shiel copped it. And it seems, I've spoken to Kevin Sheedy about dropping players, and we'll get Lee's view on this. At some stage, a player's just lost and he needs to hit rock bottom and reset. Well, whatever it is, he's reset and he's back as the All-Australian player that hopefully he's destined to be for the rest of his career.
Yeah, look, it's certainly a difficult one as a coach, and you certainly want to back your more experienced, best players in to be able to bounce back and find their best form. And it kind of got to the point for us as a group and for Dylan that we've been working really closely about trying to find his best footy, and it got to a point where we thought what was best for him and what was best for us that we kind of short-circuit that and give him a spell and a bit of a reset. And, just coincidentally, it meant that he was the sub for a game. I think he ended up playing about a half. But certainly it was an opportunity for him and certainly for us to be able to support Dylan, to be able to get back to his best footy and kind of clear his mind, simplify his own game and get back to what he really loves doing. And full credit to Dylan. I think the way he accepted, the decision that we made, and the way he actually put some plans in place about, what his best footy looks like and how he can get back to that. And he certainly put the work in. And I think he's been a great role model for our guys. And I think to be able to be an experienced player and find the footy and the sort of footy he's playing at the moment, it's a real credit to him.
Ben, what do you need to do at the start of next year to make sure that you're not in a similar position to what you have been? I know you obviously came home like a wet sail last year and played finals footy, but you lost 4 of your first 5. We know you had a really difficult start to the first half of this season and now finding form again. Of course you don't go into years trying to start slowly, but how do you make sure that that doesn't happen again and that you're moving forward early next year?
Yeah, look, there's certainly some things that we'll be able to take out of our summer and our preparation leading into the start of the season. And I thought there was a couple of games earlier in the season which we thought we performed okay, but weren't quite able to get over the line. And maybe round 2 against Brisbane was one of those examples. And I think we've been pretty open and transparent as a club that we're certainly at a developing squad, and we're trying to build our consistency and our cohesion and build that chemistry amongst our group. There's some new players in our team. Nick Martin's played the majority of the year, Ben Hobbs, as well as Massimo. So I think it's just about continuing over the summer to build that chemistry and that cohesion. But it's certainly, the fast getting off to a fast start and getting some wins on the board early is certainly a critical part of building your season up. And there's some learnings that we'll be able to take from this season. There's also some development and some growth that we've had as a footy club and as a footy team over the course of this season that we're really hoping we'll be able to take some momentum out of that and build a really strong pre-season so that we don't end up in the same situation as we are, probably have been the last couple of years.
Can I ask you, Ben, about one of your players who hasn't played much this year? I think he's got glandular fever and a few other things. But on Friday, Buka Kamas, I thought, reinvigorated my thoughts about the Western Bulldogs. He went to centre half back. He's a young guy, hasn't got a big enough tank just yet. It's getting bigger, but he totally dominated the Bulldogs match from centre half back. And I look at Nick Cox and I think to myself, I wonder what you're going to do with him next year. Young bloke, he's got to find a spot. maybe centre-half back. He's certainly tall enough. He reads the ball well. Would you consider plonking him down there in pre-season and having a look, or is it still too early?
Yeah, no, it's a good point. I mean, Nick Cox is, got a bit of Liz Frank at the moment, so we won't see him for the rest of the season. And Zach Reed's probably the other one who's probably about the same height, if not a bit taller, that we've got as a key position player who's in his second year, who's had some interruptions over the last couple of years through injury and illness. So they're two guys that we're really confident they're going to be long-term players for us and key position players. And Nick Cox is one that we've probably last year and a bit of this year as well made the decision to play him a bit more through the wing and expose him to some positions more around the ball. And he's got a skill set to be able to do that, but it's also probably, as he develops and puts on a bit more size and bulk, to be able to play a little bit more of a key position. So both of those guys, both Reedy and Coxie are picks that we got, that are in their second year, and we got high hopes as they develop and mature, they'll both hopefully become really strong key position players for us.
Ben, can I ask you about sort of like an evolution that seems to be happening, around the last month or two, but actually like more and more uncontested marks. Like St Kilda had 158 and got beaten. Sydney had about 138. They won. You had 117. Look, seems like that as the season's gone on, is there less playing on and sort of taking that random, getting into the 50 metre quicker and more trying to maintain possession?
Yeah, look, it's probably a little bit horses for courses a little bit, and it's certainly not a key indicator for us going into a game that we need to hit a certain level. So it's more about what the game presents, and certainly by kicking and marking, it does take the opportunity for the opposition to be able to pressure you and put you under pressure, which teams are really good at these days, and sometimes just to be able to get a bit of composure and an opportunity to reset the ground. Sometimes you just need to be able to take the speed out of the game for certain sections, but it's certainly not a key indicator for us. It's not a number that we're chasing by any stretch. It's more about a little bit about what the game presents and where we are on the ground a little bit as well. So, but it is certainly something that we're starting to see a little bit more throughout games, sometimes to effect, and sometimes it isn't quite effective in being able to get the result.
Ben, before we let you go, are you looking at Liam Jones?
Yeah, look, I think it was noted that we caught up with him a couple of weeks ago, which is really just part of our due diligence. We're always looking for opportunities to be able to improve our list. And Liam Jones, obviously a quality player. Where that goes with us, I'm not sure. It was probably really just a preliminary chat just to see where he's at. I think at the time that we met him, there wasn't any certainty around whether he was going to be able to play or not. So still a fair bit of water to go under the bridge there for us, and it's just a bit of a due diligence for us at the moment, really.
Ben, we appreciate you coming on. It's good timing because you've hit a nice patch of form, as we mentioned, and Jared, Essendon fans do like knocking off the Pies at the MCG quite often, and they're
ready to be knocked off too, according to the scribes.
They're ready to be knocked off, having won 8 in a row. Ben, good luck on the weekend.
No worries. Thanks for